thousands of veterans miss out on benefits they're actually eligible for, and many don't even realize it. Have you ever wondered if you're leaving money or healthcare benefits on the table? Or worse, did you know that one small mistake with your VA claim could cost you your entire 100% rating?
Yeah, that is a reality that catches so many completely off guard. I mean, you open that letter, you see that 100% number, and you just immediately think you've crossed the finish line.
Right, you think you're safe.
Exactly. You think you are completely permanently safe. But the truth of how the system actually operates is, well, it's far more complex than that.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Veterans Briefing. We are thrilled to have you with us today. Our mission for this deep dive is to shatter a really massive misconception.
A very common one, unfortunately.
Yeah, we want to completely dismantle the myth that 100% VA disability rating means your benefits are permanently locked in. I've been looking through a really fascinating stack of sources for you today. We've got VA regulatory guidelines, legal notes from veterans advocates, and some incredibly illuminating real-life case files.
And there's one data point in there that is just, it's staggering.
Exactly. Just last year alone, the VA reduced the disability ratings of about 35,000 veterans.
That number always stops people in their tracks, 35,000. But, when you look at the underlying regulations, you start to understand why it happens.
So let's set the stage here because I think that's crucial.
Right. If you look at the monthly compensation for all 4 types of 100% disability ratings, they pay the exact same amount, down to the penny. But frankly, that is where the similarities completely end.
Going through these case files, I realize it's like having 4 identical-looking VIP tickets to an event.
Oh, that's a good way to look at it.
Right. They all get you in the door, and they all look the exact same at first glance. But 3 of them have an expiration date hidden in the microscopic fine print on the back.
Yeah.
You think you have all access, but security can just tap you on the shoulder and ask you to leave at any moment.
That is a perfect analogy. Out of those 4 tickets, only 1 actually protects you from routine reexaminations, and only 1 unlocks a completely different tier of life-changing benefits for your spouse and your children.
Wow.
Yeah, if you hold one of the other 3 tickets, you are essentially looking over your shoulder year after year. I mean, the rules governing your ability to work, your family's health care, and your financial security, they change entirely depending on the specific legal designation of your rating.
Okay, let's unpack this illusion of safety, starting with the mechanics of the system itself. From the regulatory guidelines, the first and most common way veterans hit that top tier is called 100% scheduler rating.
Exactly. Scheduler is what most people immediately picture when they hear someone is 100% disabled.
Right.
This happens when your individual ratings for various conditions are combined using what the community notoriously calls VA math, and those combined ratings finally reach the 100% threshold.
And the sources emphasize that VA math is definitely not straight addition. I'm going to explain this quickly because it's a huge point of confusion for a lot of people.
Oh, absolutely.
It's actually based on calculating your remaining efficiency, not just adding up your injuries.
Yes. The easiest way to visualize it is the whole person concept. Imagine a whole pie. If the VA rates you 50% for PTSD, they take away 50% of the pie.
Okay.
You now have 50% of your original efficiency left.
And here's where it gets tricky. If you then get another 50% rating for, say, a severe back injury, you don't add 50 plus 50 to get 100.
Nope.
That second 50% is taken from what's left of the pie.
Precisely. Half of the remaining 50% is 25%. So your 50% PTSD and your 50% back injury combine to equal a 75% overall rating.
Which the VA rounds up to 80%.
Right. As you can see, mathematically, the closer you get to 100%, the harder it becomes to actually reach it. Every new rating is taking a percentage of an increasingly smaller piece of the pie.
Wow, okay. So when a veteran finally achieves that 100% scheduler rating, it is a hard-fought victory. They get the maximum monthly compensation check. And according to the guidelines, they also get tremendous economic freedom, right?
Yes.
There are absolutely no restrictions on working.
None whatsoever. With a 100% scheduler rating, you can work unlimited hours. You can earn $50,000 a year, or you can earn $500,000 a year as a CEO.
That's incredible.
It is. The logic here is that the VA is compensating you for the average impairment in earning capacity caused by your specific injuries, not your actual employment status.
But reading through these advocacy notes, there is a profound catch. The fine print on that VIP ticket we talked about. And that is the fact that a scheduler rating leaves you completely open to routine reexaminations.
Yes. The VA can, and they often do, schedule you for re-exams every 2 to 5 years. They bring you back in just to check if your conditions have shown material improvement.
To make this real for you listening, let's look at one of the case files from our sources. There's a veteran named Mike. He did 3 deployments.
Right. Mike's case is a classic example.
Yeah, he comes back with PTSD, a traumatic brain injury, back injuries, a really difficult cocktail of conditions. He goes through the grueling process, hits 100% scheduler, and he is thrilled. He finally feels like he has a financial safety net for his family.
And what Mike does next is exactly what society hopes veterans will do. He uses the stability of that compensation to get extensive therapy.
Which is great.
It is, and the therapy genuinely works. He learns coping mechanisms, he starts sleeping better, and he even builds a small, successful business.
But 3 years later, because his status is strictly scheduler, the VA flags his file.
Yeah, they call him in for a routine re-exam.
The examiner does their job objectively. They review his recent medical records and note that Mike's PTSD symptoms have significantly improved. Because of that medical evidence, the VA proposes a reduction.
His PTSD goes from 70% down to 50%.
Which drops his combined overall pie chart down to 80%. He suddenly loses about $700 a month in compensation. And according to the notes, he spent the next 2 years caught in a brutal appeals process, just trying to get it back.
2 years of fighting.
I have to push back on this on behalf of the listener because it feels incredibly counterintuitive.
I know.
The very system that is supposed to help a veteran recover actually penalized Mike for doing exactly that. He puts in the hard work, he rebuilds his life, and the reward is a severe pay cut.
It feels like a total paradox, and it's a really harsh reality to digest. But as guides to the system, we have to look at the underlying statutory framework the VA operates under. The VA disability system is rooted entirely in a medical model of compensation. It pays you for your current level of impairment. It is not designed as a permanent lifetime award simply for the fact that you were injured in the past.
So it's basically an ongoing assessment of your current state.
Exactly. The system operates on the assumption that certain conditions, especially mental health conditions like PTSD or even certain physical injuries, can and often do improve over time with proper treatment.
So if you get better, the money drops.
If the medical evidence objectively shows your impairment has lessened, the law actually dictates that the compensation must be reduced to match your new baseline. With a standard scheduler rating, you are never fully off the radar.
If you're finding these discussions helpful, please subscribe to Veterans Briefing so you never miss important updates and practical information for veterans and their families.
It really makes a huge difference.
Okay, so scheduler is for veterans whose individual conditions mathematically reach that 100% mark on the pie chart. But that brings us to an obvious flaw in VA math.
Oh, a huge flaw.
What happens to a veteran who is severely impacted, who simply cannot hold down a job because of their service-connected injuries, but their combined ratings fall short of that magic 100% number?
Well, the VA does recognize that gap, which brings us to the second type of 100% rating. Total disability based on individual unemployability, or TDIU for short.
TDIU.
This acts as a vital economic safety net. You might have a combined rating of only 70%, but your specific disabilities, say severe migraines and back pain, physically prevent you from maintaining what the VA calls substantially gainful employment.
Right.
In this scenario, the VA steps in and pays you at the full 100% rate, even though your paper rating is much lower.
So it's the VA's patch for when the math fails to capture a person's real-world physical limitations. But going through the regulatory sources, the rules attached to TDIU are incredibly strict. It swaps the medical anxiety of scheduler for extreme economic anxiety.
Absolutely it does. Because this specific benefit is based entirely on your inability to work, you absolutely cannot earn above the federal poverty level. We're talking roughly $15,000 to $16,000 a year, depending on the current guidelines.
That is so low. And the mechanism for how they track this is fascinating and honestly a bit intimidating. It's not just the VA taking your word for it, is it?
Not at all. To enforce this income limit, the VA requires you to submit an employment questionnaire. That's VA Form 214140 every single year.
Wow.
But more importantly, the VA utilizes automated data matching with the Social Security Administration and the IRS.
Oh, they check your taxes.
Yeah, if you earn wages that get reported on a W-2, the system will automatically flag your file.
That brings up a psychological trap that the advocacy notes highlight. Essentially, the VA is paying you specifically to be unemployable. The second you prove them wrong by pulling yourself up and getting a good job, you don't just get a slight reduction.
No, you don't.
You get completely terminated from that 100% pay rate.
That is the terrifying reality for many veterans on TDIU. It's a full termination of the unemployability benefit, not a gentle reduction.
Jeez.
Let's say your underlying math was 70%, and you managed to get a job paying $45,000 a year. The automated system catches that income, and the VA drops your pay right back down to the 70% rate. You instantly lose over $1,500 a month in tax-free compensation.
Which creates a scenario where veterans might be afraid to even try working.
I see it constantly in the case files. Veterans on TDIU try to dip their toes back into the workforce. They pick up a part-time job that accidentally turns into full-time hours for a few months, the income gets reported, and suddenly they receive a termination proposal.
That's heartbreaking.
It inadvertently keeps some veterans trapped near the poverty line out of pure fear of losing their medical and financial lifeline.
That economic exception leads us directly to the third type of 100% rating, which operates on an entirely different medical logic. If TDIU is an economic exception, Type 3 temporary 100% is an acute medical exception.
Right. Temporary 100% is exactly what it sounds like. It's granted for very specific short-term situations.
Like what?
Well, the guidelines stipulate this for things like being hospitalized for a service-connected condition for more than 21 days. Or if you are undergoing active severe treatments like chemotherapy for service-connected cancer.
Okay.
Or even if you have surgery that requires a major joint to be completely immobilized in a cast for an extended period.
So in those moments, the VA is acknowledging that right now you are absolutely 100% disabled. You cannot function normally.
Yes, but the medical expectation baked into this rating is that you will recover from this acute severe phase.
And this is where a huge misconception happens.
Yeah.
A veteran goes through surgery, they get that temporary 100% check, they feel a profound sense of relief, and then 6 months later, they get a letter saying they're being dropped back down to 60 or 70%.
Yeah, that happens a lot.
In the forums and comments, veterans often feel like the VA is pulling the rug out from under them maliciously. But according to the regulatory logic, it's actually more like a cast coming off right.
That's the perfect way to contextualize it. The benefit served its specific temporary purpose while the cast was on. When the rating drops, it isn't a reduction in the punitive sense. You aren't being penalized. It was a planned expiration from day one.
The sources make it very clear. The original decision letter always states that it is a temporary convalescence rating.
Exactly. The key takeaway for you listening right now is to always read your decision letters carefully. The timeline is right there in the text.
You just have to look for it.
Yeah. Understanding that it is a temporary bridge prevents you from being completely blindsided when the convalescence period legally concludes.
Okay, let's zoom out and look at the puzzle we've assembled so far. We've got scheduler, which leaves you open to routine re-exams and medical anxiety. We've got TDIU, which traps you under a strict income limit. And we've got temporary, which comes with a literal expiration date. So what does this all mean for a veteran trying to get off this hamster wheel? How do you escape the income limits, the constant medical exams, and the endless anxiety of looking over your shoulder?
Well, you seek out the absolute holy grail of the VA benefit system, the fourth type, 100%, permanent and total, commonly referred to as P&T.
P&T.
Yeah. This is the only status where the VA officially designates your service-connected conditions as static.
I want to focus on that word static because it's the key to the whole kingdom. From a medical perspective, static means the conditions have plateaued. The VA is formally acknowledging that, based on the medical evidence, your injuries are highly unlikely to ever meaningfully improve over the remainder of your life.
That is the crucial distinction. To understand the profound magnitude of P&T, let's contrast Mike, our scheduler veteran who got reduced earlier, with another veteran from the case files named Sarah.
All right, Sarah's file is fascinating. She also did 2 deployments. She has the exact same clinical conditions as Mike, PTSD, back problems, migraines, and just like Mike, she utilized her benefits to get excellent therapy. Her symptoms genuinely improved, and she went on to start a highly successful 6-figure business.
But the outcome of her story was entirely different from Mike's. I mean, night and day.
Because Sarah's rating decision contained those 2 magical words, permanent and total.
Exactly. When Sarah's conditions improved and she started making great money, the VA never called her back in. Because her conditions were coded as static, there were no routine future exams scheduled.
Wow.
Yeah, there were no proposed reductions triggered by her success. Her benefits stayed exactly the same, protecting her financial baseline while she was allowed to just thrive in the civilian world.
And the unlocked benefits that come with P&T are staggering. The sources list perks that go way beyond just the monthly check. Let's break these down because this is the stuff that literally changes a family's legacy.
First and foremost, unless you are P&T through the TDIU program, you have completely unlimited work and income potential without the fear of a re-exam. You can build whatever career you want.
Second, and this is huge, CHAMPVA healthcare for your family.
CHAMPVA is a monumental benefit. It provides comprehensive healthcare coverage for your spouse and your dependent children.
So they don't have to worry about medical bills.
Right. It acts as a secondary payer if you have other insurance or as a primary payer if you don't. For a typical family of 4, having CHAMPVA can easily save $10,000 to $15,000 a year in private insurance premiums and out-of-pocket medical costs alone.
That's massive.
Yeah.
Third on the list is Chapter 35, Dependents Educational Assistance. Just to clarify, this is completely separate from the GI Bill, right?
Correct. Chapter 35 provides a monthly stipend paid directly to your spouse and your children to help them go to college, trade school, or certificate programs.
Wow.
Yeah, it is an incredible tool for securing your children's future without them taking on massive student loan debt.
And fourth, achieving P&T opens up an entirely new world of state-level benefits.
Right, so the federal government grants the P&T status, but individual states use that status as a key to unlock their own perks. Depending on where you live, P&T can grant you full property tax exemptions on your primary home.
Property tax is completely wiped out.
In many states, yes. That alone can save a family several $1,000s annually. States also offer waivers for vehicle registration fees, free hunting and fishing licenses, and state park passes.
But reading through the advocacy notes, it seems clear that above all the financial perks, the most valuable benefit of P&T is the peace of mind. You are finally off the VA's radar.
Peace of mind is priceless. No future exams, no automated flags. You can finally just breathe.
So now that you listening know that P&T is the absolute goal, it raises a critical strategic question. How do you actually know if you have it? And more importantly, how do you protect it once you get it?
Finding out is thankfully very straightforward. You don't have to guess or wait for a letter in the mail. You need to look at your VA benefits summary letter.
Okay, so you log in and check the letter.
Right. And you are looking for very specific legal phrasing. The letter will either explicitly say service-connected disabilities are considered permanent and total, or it will say no future examinations are scheduled.
Simple as that.
Yep. If you have access to your actual rating code sheet, you want to see the word static listed next to your individual conditions.
Okay, let's play this out strategically. Let's say I check my letter today and I see those words. I have P&T, I have the Holy Grail, I'm totally protected. But then, a year later, I develop a brand new condition. Say I get diagnosed with severe sleep apnea, and my doctor says it's secondary to my service-connected PTSD. Should I file a new claim to get that sleep apnea officially service-connected?
Oh, this is where every veteran advocate in our sources issues a blinking red warning light. In the community, filing a new claim when you already have P&T is called poking the bear.
Poking the bear. I love the visual of that, but it sounds incredibly risky. Walk us through the actual mechanism of what happens when you do that.
When you are 100% P&T, your claims file, your C file, is essentially closed. It is sitting quietly in the digital vault.
Safe and sound.
Safe and sound. But when you file a new claim for a new condition, you are forcing the VA to pull that entire file out of the vault. You are opening it up to scrutiny by a fresh set of eyes. A new claims examiner is assigned to your case, and they are legally obligated to review your current medical records to establish a baseline.
And if that new examiner is reading through your file, and they happen to glance at your recent physical therapy notes or mental health evaluations, and they think, you know, this PTSD looks a lot better than it did 5 years ago when they got P&T.
Yeah.
What happens?
Well, because you open the door, they can absolutely propose a reduction on your older, previously static conditions. By law, they have to act on the medical evidence in front of them.
So you could lose your 100%.
It's possible. Filing a new claim does not automatically mean you will be reduced. It's not a guarantee of bad news, but it introduces entirely unnecessary risk into a completely secure situation.
Especially considering the math. If you already have 100% P&T, getting another condition service connected usually does not increase your monthly compensation check because you were already at the maximum mathematical cap.
Exactly. It is a strict risk-reward calculation. There are really only 2 common scenarios where poking the bear is actually recommended by advocates.
Right. The acronyms in the notes. SMC and DIC. Let's demystify those.
SMC stands for Special Monthly Compensation. This is an entirely different tier of compensation that goes beyond the 100% rate.
Like a bonus tier.
Basically, it is reserved for extremely severe disabilities, things like the loss of use of a limb, blindness, or needing regular at-home aid and attendance. If your new condition qualifies you for SMC, it might be worth the risk because the financial increase is substantial.
And the other acronym, DIC.
That stands for Dependency and Indemnity Compensation. This is a tax-free monetary benefit paid to a surviving spouse or children if the veteran passes away, specifically from a service-connected condition.
Okay, I see.
So if a veteran has a terminal illness that isn't currently service-connected, they might file a claim to connect it, ensuring their spouse receives DIC after they are gone.
So unless you fall into those specific categories where the reward genuinely outweighs the risk, you must weigh your actions carefully. You should absolutely keep treating your new conditions. Go to the doctor, get the CPAP machine, keep documenting everything for your own health.
Definitely keep getting treated.
But be incredibly strategic before formally asking the VA to reopen a closed P&T protected file.
That is the golden rule. Protect the vault.
This has been incredibly illuminating. We've covered a lot of ground today, navigating from the math to the mechanisms of protection. So let's distill this down to the top 3 key takeaways for everyone listening.
Sounds good.
Number 1, not all 100% ratings are equal. The 4-type scheduler, TDIU, temporary, and P&T, have drastically different rules regarding how much you can work, whether you will face routine medical exams, and what healthcare and education benefits your family receives.
Spot on.
Number 2, permanent and total, or P&T, is the only status that fully protects you from the anxiety of routine re-exams and unlocks those life-changing benefits like CHAMPVA and Chapter 35.
The Holy Grail.
And number 3, if you are fortunate enough to have P&T status, you must be incredibly strategic before filing new claims. Open a new claim is poking the bear. It pulls your file out of the vault and subjects your static conditions to unnecessary scrutiny by fresh eyes.
If there is one practical action I want you to take today, it's this. Do not assume you know your status based on your monthly check. As soon as this deep dive is over, log into va.gov. Download your benefit summary letter, read the actual text, and check to see if your rating explicitly says no future examinations are scheduled. Knowing exactly what type of ticket you hold is the only way to truly protect your future.
It's all about being informed. And as we wrap up, here's a final thought to mull over based on where the system is heading. We talked about how the VA currently uses automated data matching with the IRS to flag TDIU income limits.
Yep.
But with the rapid advancement of technology and the digitization of medical records, how long will it be before automated systems are used to scan the medical charts of scheduler veterans, instantly flagging files for re-examination the moment a doctor notes an improvement? The days of slipping under the radar are likely coming to an end, making P&T status more crucial than ever.
That is a very sobering thought, and all the more reason to understand your current standing. The system is complex, and the fine print is unforgiving, but knowledge is what turns a temporary pass into a lifetime guarantee. Make sure you are reading the back of your ticket.
Have you ever been caught off guard by routine re-examination or the TDIU income limits? Let us know your experiences or any questions you have in the comments below. And please subscribe to the channel so you never miss these vital updates. Thank you for watching Veterans Briefing. Take care, stay informed, and we'll see you in the next episode.